So it's been a little over a month since that piece of shit criminal insurrectionist took office. And in this video, we're going to look and see how the economy's doing now that Trump is in charge. And then we're going to check in with some idiot Trump voters who are in the process of finding out what a stupid thing they did in voting for this guy. So the first thing we're going to do is let's check in on the economy, specifically the price of eggs and other things, because we know how important that was to so many people in the last election. So let's see how that's doing. Here's an article from Bloomberg. From egg prices to housing, U.S. inflation is heating up again. Good job, MAGA. No matter what metric you're looking at, U.S. inflation is moving in the wrong direction again. Whether it's a house or a carton of eggs, price growth is once again intensifying across a broad range of indicators. Much of that has to do with the same supply and demand factors and labor market pressures that led to the initial inflation surge in the pandemic. While planned tariffs from President Donald Trump, the convicted felon piece of shit, are heightening concerns that prices will rise even more. Well, of course they will. I mean, that's what tariffs do. Now, I know people who voted for Donald Trump have no idea what a tariff even is, but those of you who are not blithering idiots, you know full well that a tariff, by definition, increases the price of goods. And so that, of course, is what's going to happen. And Donald Trump is, he backed off on some of his tariffs. Some of his tariffs he went through with. But according to recent news reports, he's going to be putting in place a bunch of new tariffs very, very soon. Unless, of course, he chickens out and pulls back again. But we'll see. Now, what else can we find out about the economy? How about the job market? Let's take a look at that. I move that over for you. There we go. Jobless claims spike in worrisome sign for the U.S. labor market. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound very good, MAGA. First-time applications for unemployment benefits rose much more than expected last week. And remind me again, who was president last week? That's right, it was Donald Trump. A likely indication of some noisy data, but also a potential worrisome hint that cracks may be forming in America's long, solid labor market. That's right, long, solid labor market for those of you who voted for Donald Trump and watch Fox News, although I don't imagine there's many of you in this audience. Anyway, that means that the job market has been good for a long time. We've had historically low unemployment for the last several years. Now, I don't know what would cause a rational human being to look at the fact that we had low unemployment and that we had dramatically reduced inflation. When Biden left office, it was about 2.2%. I don't know how a rational person can look at those things and then say to themselves, you know what? That's not good. The economy sucks. I'm going to vote for the convicted felon insurrectionist. The guy who incited a violent insurrection against his own government on live TV to stay in office illegally, and police officers were having their brains bashed in nearly to death. That guy, I'm going to vote for that guy because I think the economy is so bad that I'm going to vote for the convicted felon adjudicated rapist. I don't know how people go through that thought process, but apparently enough people did to make him president. So friggin' stupid, but there you go. We're surrounded by idiots in this country. Let's get back to this article. There were an estimated 242,000 jobless claims filed last week, according to seasonally adjusted data released Thursday. That's an increase of 22,000 from the prior week's tally, and a figure that landed well above economists' expectations for 220,000 claims. It's the largest weekly spike in claims in more than 4 months. Now, when they say that it's unexpected, what they're saying there is Donald Trump is fucking up the economy even more quickly than they had anticipated. And they already had anticipated that Trump would be screwing it up, but he's doing it even faster than the experts had predicted. That is what a complete disaster Donald Trump is. You know, when you start firing people left and right from the federal government, that adds to unemployment. When you promise tariffs, whether you actually go through with them or not, businesses make decisions today based on what they think is going to happen in the future, whether they're going to hire people, whether they're going to expand their operations. And if you have a psychopathic president who every day is threatening one of our trading partners with massive tariffs, they in turn are threatening tariffs of their own. When you're a business owner and you see all that, you're thinking, this guy is fucking insane. I would be insane if I were going to expand my operation and hire people. In fact, I should probably go ahead and lay some people off. My margins were tight anyway. I was already thinking maybe I might have to lay people off. Now this nutcase is coming in here and he's causing all this chaos. He's threatening tariffs. I need to fire some people. That's what you do if you're in business and you're trying to make responsible decisions based on what this idiot in the White House is saying. So even if he doesn't go through with some of these tariffs, and he's a coward and he backs down when he gets stood up to. So even if he backs down again on some of these tariffs, people in business who have their capital invested in these businesses, they can't take the chance that the guy's going to back down. And even if he doesn't back down, just the threat of massive tariffs is enough for people to get laid off, for businesses to choose not to expand, for other countries to make other arrangements. You know, other countries and businesses in other countries make decisions now about what they, based on what they think is going to happen in the future. And when they see an out-of-control lunatic orange criminal president in the United States making all these threats of tariffs, they're going to say, you know what? We had contracts with businesses in the United States to import their goods, but if there's going to be a trade war now between our two countries, we're going to have to look to import from businesses in other countries because this shit's just too crazy. I mean, that's how it works in the real world. I know that you MAGA cultists have no frickin' idea how any of this stuff works. You just believe the simpleton nonsense you get from Fox News. But, that's how it works in the real world. People make decisions based on the information they have, based on the things that the president is saying and threatening. So anyway, you voted for this, and so this is resulting in greater unemployment, which is only going to get worse, by the way. And if you're one who is losing your job and you voted for Donald Trump, well, you're getting what you voted for. So congratulations. Now, why don't we, since we're on the subject of these Trump cultists, why don't we take a look and see what some of these people are thinking after about a month of their orange god king in office. And this is in no particular order. Let me begin with this. This is from a young woman named, where is she? Let's bring it down there. Boom. Okay, this is from a young woman named Abby Libby. Oh, that's fun to say. Abby Libby. Abby Libby, Abby Libby, Abby Libby. That's tough to say fast, but it's fun. So there's Abby, and here's what she wrote. That's a picture of Andrew Tate. He is a man who is under criminal indictment, I believe, in Romania for rape, for sex trafficking. And here's what Abby... Oh, and by the way, Donald Trump just arranged for this man to be released from custody so that he could come back to the United States. That news just came out today. And Abby Libby is not very happy about it. And here's what little Abby wrote. She wrote, I voted for an administration that would stop human trafficking at our borders. I voted to get rapists and pedophiles off the streets. Trump's action in freeing the Tate brothers was a stunning betrayal of his mandate. Really, Abby Libby? Really? See, because, Abby, you voted for a rapist. I don't understand. Why are you upset about a rapist being sprung from prison and allowed to come back to the United States when you voted for a rapist? And why are you surprised that when you vote for a rapist, that he would then do something like that and support other rapists? I don't get it, because Donald Trump was found liable by a jury unanimously, a jury that also included people who voted for Donald Trump. He was found liable unanimously for having sexually abused a woman. Now, what he did was he digitally penetrated a woman against her will. Now, that crime is called different things in different states. Some states call that rape. It's not called rape in New York. That is called sexual abuse in New York. That's the state in which he was found liable for doing that to a woman. But the judge in that case made an official finding, and he put it in a written order, and he said that what Donald Trump was found liable for having done is commonly referred to and understood as rape. So a jury found, and a judge explained that what he was found liable for was rape. So you voted for a rapist, Abby Libby. So I don't understand why you are either surprised or upset by the fact that the rapist you voted for would help secure the release of another accused rapist. And in this guy's case, I'm not going to vouch for his character for sure, he has not yet been found guilty. Donald Trump, on the other hand, a jury has found him liable for rape. He wasn't found guilty of a crime because the statute of limitations had expired, so he was sued civilly. But nonetheless, he was found unanimously by a jury to have sexually abused, or as the judge explained, raped a woman. But for some reason, you're upset. I don't quite get that, Abby Libby. And by the way, Abby Libby, when you went into the voting booth on November 5th and you decided to vote for Donald Trump, you weren't required to vote for Trump. You actually had a choice, Abby Libby. And the choices you had two. You may have had more, but the lesser candidates had no chance. You had two major party candidates from whom to choose. And you had the choice of, on the one hand, a woman who was a district attorney, an elected district attorney. And Abby Libby, a district attorney is a lawyer whose job it is to prosecute criminals like rapists and pedophiles. She also went on to be the Attorney General of the state of California, and then on to be the Vice President of the United States. That was one candidate. On the other side, you had an adjudicated rapist. That's what you had on the other side. So you had a prosecuting attorney who prosecutes rapists on the one hand, and then an adjudicated rapist on the other. And you, Abby Libby, chose the rapist. I don't know why. Doesn't make any sense. But that's what you did. And so, I don't know why you're upset now. Okay, what else do we have here?